talking in my head. There are Egyptian American Muslim women terrorists talking in my head. And you know what? Every time those fucking whores act like they act like they're outside, there are plenty of entities willing to go to court and bat for me to take several of these entities outside to court to pull all kinds of records to make it clear that the voices I hear in my head aren't coming from outside so they can sentence the bitches to death. Isn't that what the fuck those records are about? Are those records about that? Look at this. Look at this. Look at all this swelling. You know what I'm finding kind of peculiar? We're finding that all these celebrities are going to these like random places all the time. Where and are they going like the lawsuits to find them? No, it's just being posted online. Shit is just being posted publicly online. Get me kicked out of here. I don't care. Do it. It doesn't matter. The point is, the bottom line is that I don't hear you in these four walls. I want you bitches sentenced to fucking death. That's all there is to it. Okay, we'll see. I want your kids sentenced to fucking death, and I don't fucking care. What was I doing? They're making me dizzy. The terrorists talking in my head are making me dizzy. They're Egyptian American Muslim women terrorists making me dizzy. They're talking in my head. Embarrassed of what, you fucking bitch? Dude, don't tell me I have to start from the beginning. These are documents. Mika. Mika. Come here, baby. Hi, mommy. I love you, baby. I love you, mama. I love you, baby. I love you, baby. I love you, baby. I love you, baby. I love you, mommy. I love you, baby. Alright, they'll die. Those bitches will die. They're fucking sick in there. Those are some sick. Hi, Cece. I've been screaming all day. It's okay. Those fucking psycho bitches are gonna fucking die. That kid's fucking die. You'll get sick. You'll get sick. You'll get sick. These are the issue. Okay. They're murdering two people at a time. They murdered Daniel Atkins and the girl that was with him. They murdered of me. Get off, you fucking stupid weird bitch. They're fucking weird, man. They keep saying like they're acting like it's this fucking weird. They're fucking weird. They're sitting here saying like it's not fair that they get to fucking throw bombs. Why can't they fucking murder? They're saying it's not fair. I want those bitches to die. Come here, Mika. 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 Come here, baby. Come here, mama. Come here, Sissy. Come here, baby. I love you. I want to cry. I know you're scared. I'm sorry. I want their fucking kids to die. I want their fucking kids to die, baby. Everyone. Why is that, why does it say dogs though? Mm-mm. Mm-mm. Touching me. Get off of me, stop touching me.
Right. No one's hurting them. No one's hurting them.
Tomorrow in Lake Forest, you'll see intermittent clouds and can expect a high of 77 degrees Fahrenheit and a low of 60 degrees. Also, there's an air quality alert in effect until Sunday, July 6th, 12 a.m.
No one's hurting them. Still the same thing. Nothing. Nothing. God, I can't focus because he's playing with my head. He's playing with my head. And I just want to, I want to try something on him.
I want them to talk, please. Please. They're playing with my head. They're not. They're gonna, if they feel it's obnoxious, you're hurting them too. Your kids are gonna, they're terrorists, they're talking in my head. They don't want people to cry with me. They're talking in my head. He's saying, I don't want anybody to cry with you. I want it to be so excessive. They find you disturbing. He's a fucking piece of shit talking in my head. It's okay. His fucking faggot ass family's gonna fucking die. They're just waiting for their kids to turn 18 so they can all get dropped for spending their terrorist money. Thank you, God. They want them all to die. I'm not. Who the fuck cares, bitch? It's not a crime. It's a crime if your terrorist kids spend terrorist money. They're supposed to give the money back, honey, not spend it. It's a crime to spend it. She said, I'm so glad you said that. Like a terrorist. Just talking in my fucking head like a terrorist. Stupid bitch. Can you see how conflicted we are? I'm so glad it's obvious I'm conflicted. And not suicidal. And it's obvious that I'm not Muslim. I'm Christian. And I want to actually fucking sentence them to death, not kill myself. Or murder. Look what he's doing to my eyes, so it looks like I got punched in the face. So they keep doing this to me so that I look like I got punched in the face. And so that I look like a bulldog. They keep doing this to me. See that? Nothing's working. I thought for sure I found something that's gonna work. Nothing's working. Oh man. That's it. That's it. That's nice. So, ooh, oh my god, that's so nice. Oh, that's so weird. Just fucking weird. Just fucking weird. I might go right now and say so I can get it over with. It's annoying. Mm. It's not working. Oh, I'm sad. Oh, I'm so sad. Okay. Why can't I just execute? Why? Why not? And what's wrong with it? Is it my opening line? How come it doesn't have it here then? Because I deleted it out of AI. I don't chat, whatever. Oh, you're substitute. Nothing's working. Do I have to put the ID number? Hi. Hi, baby. Why do you find it necessary? Where's this? Where is it? Hi, baby. Hi. I don't know. Hoping that I just stumble upon the shit. Why can't you guys leave me alone? I don't understand. I don't fucking know you. I really don't fucking know you. I don't understand. I did one more claw. Stop touching me. This is what he called for beginners? Is this the one that we're working on? He's lying. This is it? Is this the one? And this is the video store. What is this? A beginner's. Okay, well maybe yeah. Why don't I just work with Notebook for this? I don't know, we're gonna find out.
I looked at my client in the mirror. I said, hold up. Girl, you need to dye your hair blonde and buzz it off. Because
This is a crash course on how to build automations and AI agents using n8n. This course can take you from being an absolute beginner to building out full workflows within n8n. And by the end of the course, you should understand most of the concepts required to build up.
I need to sleep. I'm like overwhelmingly depressed. I don't think I'm like as exceptional as Whitney Houston, but I like feel like I'm almost like on your platform. I'm like one step short on your platform. Like your platform is a stage and mine is a bus. I'm not playing with mine. I want the fucking kids to die. Oh my fucking god. I want their kids in caskets.
What if I told you you can get unlimited leads for free by leveraging one of the most powerful AI and automation workflow tools currently on the market? I'm going to show you how you can use n8n to scrape unlimited leads completely on autopilot, and then I'll show you how you can actually turn them into paying customers or clients. The best part is you don't even need to know how to code to do this. It's super simple. So by the end of this video, you'll be able to do this for yourself and generate as many leads as you want in n8n. So first off, What is N8N? Basically, N8N is a workflow automation tool to which you can do literally whatever you want. I mean, everything comes down to penciling it out, writing it down on a napkin, literally just making sure you can actually do the steps and move data where you want to. There's always things about triggers and actions. And if you really think about it, your entire day is pretty much a workflow. I mean, you get up, you go to work, you make your coffee.
Get off of me!
That you probably do every single day, all the way until you shut down and then N8N is no different. It's just basically automating repetitive tasks that you can do with virtually whatever you want to move things in different triggers and actions in order to get the job done. If you go through the different products here that they have and use cases, they have so many integrations and it just keeps getting bigger and bigger. There's literally no integration that you can't connect to, including the HTTP API, which is unlimited, basically keys to the internet. One other thing that you're going to notice here in the upper right is GitHub. That means that it's open source and you can literally clone the repo to your computer, or you can store it on a DigitalOcean Docker container, or you can also store it on AWS. You can store it wherever you want and you have completely unlimited workflows for free. So that is one beautiful thing about N8N. From here, you'll notice a number of different use cases. We have different departments across all verticals in order to make sure that there's a number of different things that you can do, which is what we do in our business in terms of streamlining operations. And from here, you'll notice the integrations. The integrations are literally limitless, especially with the new integrations that are coming out and the community nodes. One other thing that gives you keys to the internet is this node right here, which is the HTTP request. And in a previous video, I talk about the API v2 and how you can literally leverage every single API endpoint.
Get the fuck out of my head!
This node right here. From here, you'll notice community. You'll also notice templates, which I'm going to show you here in a moment, in order to leverage existing workflows, which you can take and implement right into your N8N instance and take it from there. Very simply, this is actually a self-hosted N8N instance, and I'll simply just do a number of different experimental things to test things out before I actually put it into production. You'll notice it's completely free. There's also a beautiful dashboard here so you can quantify how much there's just a number of different workflows here. So if we so much as create a workflow, and if we add a step here, which you'll see.
They're Egyptian American Muslim women trams. They're fucking talking in my head. They're serial killers. And there are so many fucking entities that want to blow their fucking brains out.
Things in terms of AI, such as AI agent. And we can very simply build our own AI agent right here. And if we connect this basically is a trigger to
They're talking in my head. They want to blow their fucking brains out.
Want to. What we're going to do here is actually use a template that was already generated by Akram, and he made a awesome Google Maps scraper where it's 100% free. If you look into the template here, you can actually click around and move different things here. Click on the canvas, and you will see within the triggers area here that we have Hollywood Dentist, Downtown Dentist. So all the default things here in terms of what it's searching for is no different than what you would actually search for in Google Maps. All you have to do is just click use for free. And you notice you can import this into your own instance by either directly, or you can copy it to clipboard, which will import the JSON file. All you have to do is just Command V in order to paste that. So you'll notice this workflow is already complete with the template, which is really nice here. And there are notes to show exactly how this thing works. Essentially, we have a Google Maps automatic scraper, which tells you exactly what it does. There's notes on how to work it, including a video tutorial. You'll also notice that you can set up a list of queries, which all you need to do is to go ahead and click on this and simply click on the pencil icon. And you'll see that this is called JSON, where there's a number of different queries, which includes the city and then what we're actually going to search for on Google Maps. So that said, all you need to do is to simply click on it. You open it. We're going to copy this, and then we're going to go over to good old ChatGPT. So I went ahead and had that done, and then it output exactly what it is. And this is a code snippet, so all you need to do is hit copy and then simply paste it right into the node here, and then you're officially ready to start. So all we have to do is click execute workflow, and you can see that it's working right now and going through all the motions here. It's doing it 3 times, 4 times, and you can essentially think of this like an engine. It's a flywheel that's just running on loops on each and every single one of them in order to ensure that it passes through. Now, what this node does is it actually executes this entire workflow here, and it's essentially running this on loop until it runs from top to bottom for the search criteria that you populated. You see this huge huge loop with a wait node. So this just makes it a little bit cleaner and easier to execute from there. You will see that we went ahead and did the executions. And if we go to our spreadsheet here, you can see I've generated just tons of email addresses, all for free. So from here, we have all the data of who we can just reach out to. I'm actually going to take this a little bit further, which I've demonstrated here. And what we're going to do is we're going to start the same thing. We're going to do the same search. We're going to let it loop over items, which is going to do the same thing that I mentioned. And we are going to make this a little bit more robust. So you can see when I ran through things here, if I so much as, start it, and then it's going to loop over items, which it does the same thing. The only things that I really added to it is an AI agent, but also I added relevant data to the URL. We are going to actually filter out irrelevant emails because we don't want the example or domain.com because we all know those are terrible and won't deliver. And I've also added what you call a regex to eliminate all the personal emails because if we're scraping gmail.com, it's not going to come out very well. So we want to reach out to business commercial contacts. And so we're going to screen out for those. Now it's going to output this email right here. And then from here, we're going to do a simple check just to make sure that the website actually exists before we use any scraping materials to understand what the company actually does. So in this case, we're going to use an HTTP API request. We're going to do what you call a head call. Now there's a number of different that you can do, which is normally going to be a post request or a get request. Those are the two calls that are most common when we're doing pushing data and pulling data in. But in this case, we're going to use a head request because all we want to retrieve is actually the headers to ensure that that website actually exists, because there's no reason to try to scrape a website if the website doesn't exist. So this allows us to do just a simple check to see if we get what you call a 200 status code, which means we're good. And then from here, we're going to check. If we get a status code of anywhere greater than 200 but less than 399, that is a good sign. We can move forward. If you're getting like a 404 status code or anything else,
why isn't mine working? Why? Get away from me. So what if I put myself big deal? Oh. Okay, my NAN isn't working.
Hello legends. In this video, I'm going to give you 3 tips for how to make your NAN workflows production ready. We'll be speaking about security, so how to secure your workflows so that not everyone can access them, and also how to secure your API calls and credentials. We'll speak about how to introduce retry mechanisms into your workflows. So if an AI agent step or a HTTP call fails, how you actually retry that instead of breaking the flow straight away. And then finally, we'll be looking at how to handle errors and how to do error logging. So I actually have 4 tips, but it sounded better to say 3 for the YouTube title. If you stick around to the end of the video, I'm going to show you tip number 4 as well. And actually, this one comes from my background when I was doing coding and programming, all using AI. So if you're brand new to using no-code tools like NAN, this is going to be a bit of a surprise to you, but it's going to save you so many headaches down the line. Okay, so we're across on a brand new NAN canvas. And the first security that I want to speak about is actually when you're setting your trigger. So when you're actually building out your workflow for the very first time, you'll most likely be using either a manual trigger where you execute manually, or you might be using something like a chat trigger, and then you can kind of feed this into your AI agent step. So this is a very common way to just build out your workflows, test them out. But when you want to run this on a production environment, you actually get rid of these triggers, and you might use something like a webhook. So a webhook is probably one of the most common ways that people use or start their workflows. And traditionally, you can actually just set your webhook like this. Let's say we just change this to a post method. I'm going to copy this webhook URL, which is just the address that I can target to hit this workflow and start it. So now I'm across in Cursor, which is just an AI coding tool. And all I'm doing is just making an API call across to that NAN webhook. So I've got the URL of the webhook over here, and it's a post request. And if I just fire this off, I'm
That's it. Goodbye. It's hurting. I want them to die. I want them to die. I want them to die. I want all their fucking kids.
just going to go node test. Awesome. So workflow has started. And now back in N8N, we can see that we have some data over here. And if I scroll down, we have hello N8N, which is the same message that I sent across from Cursor. But now the issue with this is that any one of you watching this video can actually just replicate this exact same API call and hit my N8N workflow, which means there's no
No,
when I was
forget.
doing
How do
coding
you
and
set
programming,
up a
all using
work?
AI. So if you're brand
Setting
new
up a
using
webhook,
tools like
how do you
N8N,
do
this is going to be a bit of a
setup?
surprise to you, but it's going to save you some money that next down the line. Okay, so we're across on a brand new N8N.
Shut up. Goodbye.
website, which sends a GET request. There's also,
Goodbye.
they're nicely formatted messages, but they're messages. So if you have two apps, this app A, and over here we'll call this app B.
Webhooks are something that as you progress in your career or in web development in general, you start to learn about. So in this video, we're going to be covering what webhooks are and how you use them. So let's start with the important question. What are webhooks? Well, you can think of webhooks as a reverse API. Now, what do I mean by that? Well, usually when you interact with an API, you personally make a request from your application, whether that's somebody clicks a button or some sort of interactability happens, a page loads, whatever it might be, and you sort of pull the data down from somewhere. With a webhook, what actually happens is an application pushes some data to a URL that you specify, and then your application needs to handle that in a specific way. So instead of pulling the data down and sort of requesting the information that you need, it's getting pushed to your application. So maybe I can explain that a bit. So let's draw a quick diagram here. So here we have your application, and then over here we have some sort of service, right? So let's just put some text here and say application. And over here, we have our service. So there we have basically the two pieces that we need. So in the normal API world, what you do is you kind of say, hey, I need this data. And you kind of pull the data in and it gets pushed back. With a webhook, it works a bit differently. So if we just grab this, down and paste it here, and then we get rid of this error right here because we're not making any requests. What happens is this service, this could be Stripe, this could be Clerk, this could be whatever kind of application that you may be using that uses webhooks, is essentially sending you back information. Now, a great example of this is when you create a new user. For example, in Clerk, we have this webhook functionality that says when you create a new user or a user gets updated or a session expires, a bunch of different things, send to a specific URL so they can handle it. I need to fill some database information when a user is created. So with this webhook, you can push that data along and it says, hey, this user was just created, and then you can maybe update your database. Another example could be if you're using Stripe. When a user pays for your product, let's say it's a subscription for your latest SaaS product, it's not happening on your website, it's happening through the checkout on Stripe. And when they hit submit, then Stripe will send you this webhook that says, hey, by the way, Steve Jones over here just paid for the subscription, so you should allow him to do whatever you want. Then in that case, in turn, you have to then update your application or your logic or your database or whatever and say, yep, Steve Jones has paid his monthly dues. Please make sure that he has access to this secret page. So that gives you a brief explanation of what webhooks are and why you might use them. But what if we saw a practical example? So here we have a very basic implementation of what a webhook could look like. Here we have a handler that says console.log request.body. We're updating some data in a database, but we're just going to log that out. And then we're just going to say we got the webhook as the name. Now, this is a very basic implementation, and I'm just using Next.js APIs as an example. And you can totally handle this with an API route from Next.js. So now we have that, we should actually use this webhook somewhere. Now, the problem with creating webhooks and testing locally is you're using localhost here, but you need access to the outside world to make this happen. So you have a few different options for services here. You can use ngrok, which I don't particularly like. You can use local tunnel, which I absolutely love. And you can also use webhook.site to just test out what happens when a webhook is sent to you. So first, let's do webhook.site so that you can see how a webhook would work in general. So when you go to webhook.site, it's going to give you a unique URL right here, and you can use this however you want. So I'm going to copy this to our clip, and I'm going to use Clerk to send us some webhooks. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go to clerk.dev,
Honestly, anybody that has
and we're going to go ahead and log into the dashboard. And we'll go ahead and use this Skillshare from yesterday's live stream. And we're going to click this webhooks button right here. Now it's going to in our webhook handler here, and we just need to add the endpoint. So we go ahead and add an endpoint here and hit create. Now this is fully functional and can be used now. So under testing here, I can actually test a few events. So a good example would be user create, because that gives you some sort of data with a bunch of stuff. And as you can see here, there's a bunch of data in here, birthday, created email addresses, blah, blah, blah. It's a giant object with a bunch of things. So I'm going to go ahead and send this example. And then what's going to happen down here is this event is going to be sent, and we should see something appear here. And as you can see, there was an event here that happened, and you can see that this raw data is everything in that example. So now we need to do something, because this event has happened outside of our system, and it says, hey, now you need to do something with this, whether that's you log it out or send it to a database or do something with it, you have to do something with this event. So now we can actually test this in a local host and see what happens. So you can just, this is what happens when a webhook gets sent. You can see there's a bunch of raw data that you may or may not need to handle. So I'm going to update this one more time. But first,
gives them permission to enter
seen local tunnel
yours.
before. It's one of my favorite features. It essentially allows you to expose, just like ngrok, but there's no login requirements and there's no time limit. So it just starts and it can run forever on a local port. So to use it, you just do npx local tunnel port, or if you install it globally, you can use it however you want. So I use this LT -- port 8000. So we can go to our terminal here, and then we can actually add this in. So first we need to do yarn dev. So we've got yarn dev running. Now we need to go to our other one and type LT -- port and then 3000, because that's what our Next.js app is on. And then you'll be given a URL here. So we can take this URL, copy it, go here, edit our URL so that we can change it to API/webhook and hit save. So now our application here that we've been using can now be tested to see what happens. So if I run this now and just go ahead and hit send example, and as you can see, now we have logged out this data because that's what we got sent.
I have to go to school for this.
Did was I created a tool call that basically says, hey, once a conversation is done, take the entire transcript.
Now, this is the type of week of AI releases that I personally enjoy the most. I'm going to be demoing and sharing a bunch of different categories of generative AI that you might not have even considered before this week. With things like the first genuine voice assistant that connects to other platforms and at least attempts aiming for this golden grail of this AI assistant that just gets you and does things for you. And we have Google coming out with a Claude Code competitor that has been taking over the developer space over the past weeks. And then we have ChatGPT rolling out some of its most powerful features that were only available to select plans, to almost all paid plans this week, and peculiar categories like AI video generation.
In a world being transformed by AI, one skill stands above all others: AI automation. Master this, and you won't just survive the AI revolution, you'll thrive in it. I'm living proof of this. Just 2 years ago, I taught myself how to build no-code AI automations without any prior experience. And since then, I've built multiple AI businesses, generated millions of dollars in revenue, and grown this channel to over 500,000 subscribers, and built AI systems for some of the biggest brands in the world. It's pretty safe to say that learning how to build AI automations has completely changed my life. So in this full course, I'll teach you everything that I've learned about building AI automations and making money with them, even if you don't know how to code. And as they say, AI will not replace you, but
Short video tutorial you're going to learn how to run a phone number using regex in Python. Validating phone numbers with regex or regular expression can be tricky because phone number formats can vary widely. You can create a basic regex pattern to match common phone number.
Stop touching me.
Here is an example of how to validate phone numbers using regex.
Stop touching me.
Python.
Stop touching me. Stop touching me.
Example. First import the regex or regular expression